time it is? You just tuned in the lab with Coach Rock and O. East Tennessee High School Sports Podcast. Bringing you all the exclusive interviews with some of the hottest players coming out of high school and the coaches from around the country here. Make sure you like and share this podcast. And stay tuned in each week. But enough of this. Let's get it.
We're here at Grace Christian with Coach Price. How you doing, Coach?
Good to see you, man. Good to see you guys.
Thank you for coming on.
Coach, you know, y'all probably one of the hottest teams out here right now, starting out 7-0. Tell us what it's been like with this hot start with your new program.
Well, you know, also when you take over a new program, you know, you try to start, okay, what can we fix now? You know, what can we get fixed immediately? But then there's also some things that you know are going to take some time to correct. So there's a lot of areas we feel like we got to improve in. We obviously want to try to do certain things this year, but down the road even more. But you know, when you kind of just press pause and see where you're at, and you're 7-0, you know, it's really just a testament to our coaching staff and our players and our administration all being aligned to get us off to this quick start.
Hot start, like you said, Coach. And me and Coach always talk about your explosive offense. We kind of seen that last year with Campbell County. You guys had those guys passing, and you know, defenses going all over the place trying to cover you guys. So me and Coach always knew if you were able to get athletes in your system, you would be successful, and it's kind of showing this year. But I want to talk a little bit about the 8th grader you guys got, Coach. JV Stinson. Can you tell us a little bit about him?
Yeah, you know, when we first got here, they kind of mentioned a little bit about JV not playing middle school and moving up to the high school. And, and you know, for me, I was like, okay, you know, for Anchor to do that, you know, they need to be special. And because, you know, also you want our middle school team to do well. And also you don't want to hurt a player being, you know, not being ready to play at the high school level. But it's pretty apparent very easily, quickly when you see JV play. And you know, he's got some. He's a special talent,
yes, sir.
And so he's come in and you know, returned our home opener. He returned the kickoff, 98, 99 yards, whatever it was, for a touchdown. So you know, got elite top end speed.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, he still is an 8th grader.
Yep.
He's got some areas he's got to improve on, but man, just for him, the way he's come in and helped us, he's playing a little bit more on defense now. You know, as the season progresses,
yes,
his roles just continue to get bigger and bigger for us. And you know, we want to get him the ball. You know, we got a lot of talent on our offense right now, so he probably is not getting as much as he wants it, just like the rest of them sometimes. But you know, we're spreading it around. And but JV's a special talent. To think that we have him this year and 4 more years is exciting for Grace Christian Academy.
That's awesome, Coach.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Coach, just talk about, you know, with you being from Campbell County, you've been there for a while. How difficult was it to make the change to leave Campbell County, and what made the time now the right time to leave?
Yeah, I mean, first, you know, we spent 13. I was the head coach there for 13 seasons, and you know, Campbell County is a special place, and we loved it there. The support that we received, and you know, we came in there. We were able to do some things that had never been done, and probably a lot of people didn't think could be done.
Right.
And so, obviously, we had some talented players. Our time there had some good coaches, and again, our administration from the central office all the way down was so supportive of us to do that. And you know, and we always thought there may be a time come where Matt and I would decide to go to another program. And you know, I say it humbly, but you know, we had opportunities to go other places, and each time, whether it was an obstacle or what, it just never did work out. And you know, something about Grace this time, you know, I just truly believe that God removed any obstacle that was in the way that would cause us not to make this work. And so once it made it kind of clear to us that this is where we felt like we needed to be. And so it wasn't anything to do with Campbell County. We loved it there. Right. You know, we felt like that. You know, we were continuing to do some things and still heading in the right direction. But you know, just the opportunity that Grace presented to to us professionally and personally with the school, and my kids getting a little older, being in school now. So and then when you talk to Matt Mercer, who's the head of schools, and you realize the alignment that he has and his vision for Grace was something definitely you just wanted to be a part of it.
Right.
Speaking a little bit of Matt Mercer, he was the girls basketball coach at Fort when I went there. So I just want to give a shout out to my boy Matt. How you doing, Matt? But Coach, for all the viewers that's not real big football fans, because if you're a football fan in this town, you know the Price Twins, let's be honest. But for all the viewers that don't know, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got started in coaching and stuff like that, Coach.
Well, in high school, I played at Campbell County for a couple years and went over to Anderson County my senior year, played for Coach Kerr, who's a legend,
Yes, sir.
you know, in this area coaching, you know, won a state championship at Halls, you know, kind of built that Anderson County program to a level, and, you know, was fortunate enough to be on a really good team my senior year. I won Mr. Football my senior year,
Awesome.
which is, you know, as older I get, I look back and realize how hard that was, but also of how good our team was, and to be around players that, you know, sometimes the quarterback gets more credit than they deserve, and but just very blessed to do that. Then went on and played at a couple of different colleges, and started 2 years at Pikeville College, and started 2 years at Maryville College as a quarterback, and kind of just knew I was wanted to coach. And Coach Kerr was still at AC at the time when Matt and I were finishing up at Maryville College, and he brought me on as the offensive coordinator my first year, and then Matt started as the DB, secondary receivers coach, ended up being the defensive coordinator that first year, and you know, ever since then, man, we just fell in love with it. And you know, Coach Kirk gave us an opportunity, and Matt and I were probably 24 at the time, 23, so I'm sure we drove him nuts a little bit at that during that first year. But you know, and I was able to, you know, to just learn from Coach Kerr, who, you know, so much wisdom in him, and he retired after 2 years, and then Coach Gillum came on, and you know, learned a lot from here. I knew Dave for many years before that too. I actually played for him in college at Pikeville, and a little bit at ATH, and so, man, just you know, just the way those guys helped mold us to where we are, and you know, so I took the Campbell County job when I was 27 years old, and you know, obviously it was one I thought I was ready to be a head coach, and you just start learning, and you know, we took over and won 3 games the first year, and 3 games the second year. Then year 3 we went 10-2, and after that we felt like we built a consistent program. Obviously we wanted to win more than we did at times, but you know, just stayed there, and you know, obviously my brother and I were twins. We're kind of co-head coaches and kind of do all this stuff together. So that's kind of where we are, and you know, now here we are at Grace.
Yes, sir. Awesome, Coach. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Coach, do you ever think it'd be a time that y'all would go y'all separate and do your own thing? Y'all think y'all just gonna rock out together?
Yeah, I think we're just gonna continue to be together. I always said I felt like Matt and I we realized pretty quick we're just better when we're together, and you know, we both have our strengths, but also as a head coach, you know, obviously somebody has to be titled that, and I am currently, and was at Campbell County, but you know, I think this will be my 14th year as a head coach, and I'm not burnt out at all. You know, I think that's what you see. A lot of high school coaches, you know, over time, being a head coach can be very taxing, and there's a lot of things you deal with on the field, off the field. And so for Matt and I, where we can split some responsibilities, I think it just helps us. It's just worked. I know it's a unique situation. Like, I still go to the press box and call plays, and so on Friday nights, Matt's kind of the head coach on the sideline anyway. So, you know, basically any of the credit that I get is just shared with him, because you know, we've always been, you know, being twins and all that, you know, we're always together anyway. So it's just been we just got a good relationship. So I'm not saying, well, I don't know if we'll never split up, but I don't see that in the future anytime soon.
I was talking to the boys, and I was like, it's kind of like it's like I have 2 head coaches, because you run the offense, you run the defense. So they was talking a little bit about the preseason, and I said, after y'all get into it, like, there's a lot of drawing back and forth. But tell us what it's like going against your brother, because I know you know everything that you think, and the vice versa.
Yeah, it is, man. I mean, Matt and I, we're both competitive, and you know, so we want to make each other better and hold each other accountable on, like I'll call play by, why are you calling that? You know? So you know, you got to have thick skin, I guess, when you're coaching with your brother. So it's fun, but just to sharpen each other, and you know, again, if he sees something we should do on offense, he'll let me know, and you know, obviously it's a good relationship that's worked for us, and yeah, obviously there's moments where we hold each other accountable, make sure we're going to do the best for our program.
Yes, sir. Coach, you came into Grace on a schedule that was already kind of built, so you had to just roll with that. But if I'm not mistaken, the schedules get revamped next year, correct?
Yes.
Okay, what type of approach will you guys take on scheduling games? Because if I'm not mistaken, if I look at y'all schedule, y'all don't got nobody from Knoxville but CAK and Webb, maybe?
Webb, and then we play Austin East.
Yeah.
Austin East?
Yeah.
Will the approach next year to be to schedule more area teams, or what would be your process with scheduling next year?
Yeah, I think when you look at Grace's schedule, they just came out with a new classification. So it looks like our region will stay the same, which there'll be 8 teams in our region. So that gives us 7 region games a year, which makes our schedule a little bit easier. So we'll have 3 non-region games that we can find. And we've reached out to some local teams. We want to play a local team, so we have a couple in Chattanooga we got to go to every year. Obviously, Webb, CAK are close. We've been playing Kings Academy, that's just relatively close around. So, if we could try to find a couple local schools that will play, I think that'll be big. Again, we've reached out with some. Nothing's finalized with anybody yet, but I think you want to try to find some schools that are kind of close to us. Just to create those environments. When 2 programs are close proximity and you play each other, more fans come, and it just provides these kids with an exciting environment.
Yeah, speaking of schools being so close, me and Coach always talked about the Grace and Corns rival.
Yeah.
Is that something we possibly can see in the future?
Yeah, who knows? At this point, I would say no with Carnes, but obviously there's more schools pretty close to us that we can play. Obviously, Grace and Carnes, we're basically side by side over here. So, but you never know what'll. I say the next month or so, we'll probably get those things figured out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Coach, I'm looking at your schedule. Which you've been an offensive guy, calling the offense, got very high power. I think I scored 40 points in 5 of the 7 games that I played this year. Tell us about some of the, and I've seen that you got like 3 or 4, or maybe 5 receivers with 400 yards or more. Tell us how it is to have that many weapons and how it is to, I know it's fun to put up some kind of numbers.
Yeah, it is. We're pretty much a throwing first team, and obviously Weston Edmondson's skill set's phenomenal. He's, he's 6'5", he sees the field so well, makes all the throws, and then makes quick decisions. He's a very decisive quarterback this year for us, and so he's doing a good job of getting the ball to the players that are open, number one. And then, we've got about 5 skill guys that have played majority of the snaps, maybe 6. And, that's the thing about us. It's like we go into every week. We don't really have a number 1 receiver that we just try to get the football to.
Right.
We go and we run some plays that we feel like they're going to be problems for the defense to defend. And so like last week we played Austin East, and our outside receiver, Pierce Stiltner, had 212 yards receiving. But then Terrion's had a 180-yard night. Weber's had a 3-touchdown catching night. So it's I think when you can spread the ball out to 4, 5, 6 individuals that can score anytime they touch, it makes you so tough to defend. They can't zero in on whether it's Terrion or Weber or whoever. Blake Perky's one for us that's really stepped up. He had a big year last year doing the same this year.
Right.
So it makes us tough, and we put a little bit on the quarterback to make those decisions. And we run some screens and maybe some like jet sweep type things where we know who's getting the ball. But for the most part, he goes out and makes a decision to the guy that's open, gets him the football. And so far this year, they've executed our offense at such a high level.
Is this probably one of the fastest teams that picked up on? We really had a lot of new starts, but even with the Campbell County teams, this is probably one of the fastest teams that picked up on offense on the go like that.
Yeah, it has. And also that starts with the quarterback. I think Weston's just, his football IQ is so high, and he is so driven to be, not even to be the best version of himself. He wants what's best for Grace. He's been here his whole life, and you can tell when I first got here, as a leader, he wants to make sure that Grace has a great season this year, and he's doing his part for sure. But yeah, our guys, they've worked hard since we've been here, since January to master these things, and they're playing with a lot of confidence, which I think is key. And so it's been fun to watch, and how quick. Obviously, there's areas when we watch film we want to improve on, but when you kind of just set back and you realize you're 40-something points a game and 7-0, like just how fast they picked on this has been impressive.
Coming off the bye week, Coach, what's been your preparation to come out against Webb, not flat, coming off a bye week?
Yeah, so kind of our approach this week, we gave them some time off. We gave them a few days to kind of rest their bodies a little bit, probably go on vacation with their families. And I still think at this age that they are, spending time with your family it's got to take priority at times. So we wanted to provide them where they didn't have to make a choice of, do I go with football or do I go with a family? So we gave them some time off. We came back, Friday morning. To have a quick run through and walk through practice to get ready for Webb. So we as coaches we've been watching a little bit this week, and obviously Webb's presents a big challenge for us. One, just the tradition, history of their program. They're going to be well coached. They're going to play hard. They have obviously Shavar Young's one of the best talents in the state. Committed to Clemson, and he's not the only one. They got several players that can play. So it's definitely going to be a challenge. We just got to. What are their weaknesses, and is there any way we can capitalize on that and then take away a few of their strengths?
Yes, sir.
Feeding off coach, y'all got the bye week this week, and then y'all got y'all probably the biggest 2 games in y'all schedule left with Webb and Boys Buchanan. Tell us what do you feel that y'all have to improve on to get over that hump? Because like I said, y'all getting some buzz now, and I feel like if y'all can get over these humps, then the buzz is gonna take off from there. It's kind of like everybody know y'all good, and they want to see y'all beat the Webb pretty much. That's the game that's pretty much on the year circle every year. What do you think y'all got to improve on to get over that hump to beat Webb?
Well, I think there's a few little things that we just can't fix this year, just from time and maybe a little whatever it's in weight room strength, whatever. We're still pretty young up front. We don't have any seniors on the offensive or defensive line. So those are things, but they're playing hard for us and playing at a very high level. But I think that I think for us is just continue to when you look at our schedule, we've played some complete games. Offensively we've been able to win running the football. We've been able to win throwing the football. So I think when you look at a team like Webb, whatever their strength allows them to take away from us, we got to be able to take advantage in a different way. Whether if they take away the pass, we got to run it. If they're putting pressure on the quarterback, how do we eliminate those things? And then also we've got to continue to tackle well in space. I mean, obviously Shavar Young and they got a couple other players that when they get the ball in space, they're going to be tough to tackle. So that's the big thing, was try to eliminate those big plays, which our defense has done really well this year. I know our offense gets a lot of the attention just because kind of how football is these days.
Right.
And obviously Weston is leading the state in passing right now, and but when you look at our defense, what I think is the way we've been able to play defense is, I think, a big part of why we're 7-0.
Yes, sir. I want to talk about the offense and defense a little bit. Like Coach said, you guys are putting up 40 points. Like you said, offense normally gets all the credit, and it seemed like Weston is the front driver for the offense. Who would be the main guy on defense for you guys? There's like the captain, getting everybody, ready and set and ready to go. Who would be that guy for you guys?
Well, how defense, it usually centers around the middle linebacker, and we, with 3-4, we kind of have two with Jackson Coffey and Parker Whitaker. When you look at Coffey, he was an All-State as a freshman last year, just a phenomenal talent. Fearless type player, very smart, can play sideline to sideline, get people lined up. And then Parker's the same way. Parker is only a junior. Coffey's just a sophomore, so we'll have those guys back next year. But just the way, I always feel like it starts at the linebacker position on defense. And so they're doing a good job of getting people lined up, and then also just making some plays, whether they're supposed to or not. Sometimes they're making them. And we've had other guys on that side of the ball, like Evan Pritchard, who's got 6 interceptions on the year, who's playing at a very high level and creates some turnovers. So it's, on that side of the ball, my brother Matt, and then we got Nick Craney over from Central, who's he's the co-defensive coordinator for us, and man, they've just dialed it up this year. It's been fun to watch what they've been able to do.
That's awesome. I didn't know Nick was over here.
Yeah, I seen him. I watched a little bit of practice when we got here, and he came over. And I didn't know you was over here coaching.
We got to interview Nick last year. What's up, Nick?
He's the man.
We were talking about Terry out a little bit. Tell us how special that kid. I mean, me and Coach know, because we've been coaching longer than me, but we know him from 707, and I can know him from basketball and 707. Just tell us how special that kid is, and the future, bright future he got.
Yeah, to be a sophomore, he's you would think if you watch him play, he's a senior. I mean, he's unbelievable in space. His vision and his ability to stop and go. is phenomenal to watch. We see it on the drone footage or on the sideline. I mean, it's the press box view when we're watching film. It's just incredible the way he finds ways to make people miss and find open holes. And I think Terrion's got a bright future for him at Grace and also at the next level. There's we had a power four, a Big Ten school. Watch him on film and told us he's the real deal. So obviously he's young and there's still some factors out there he's got to do. But he's been fun to watch, and as good as he is, his vision, run the ball. He's got unbelievable hands. The way he can catch his hand-eye coordination. I mean, he can really catch a football and create space. And to watch him play when he gets the ball. Every time he gets the ball, you don't know. I mean, he could score, and he can beat you with the vision and making people miss, and he can also has the power to run through tackles. So it's Terrion's a special player. We know that, and he means a lot to our football team. But he also is the type. He understands he needs the people around him too. He's a team player. But I think the last 2 games, maybe last 3 games, he's had 11 touchdowns. I know he had 6, and he had 4. He only had 1 last week, and it was a great play for him. But he also threw a 99-yard touchdown pass too. So that just shows you who Terrion is. And he's a really good defensive player for us too. So we're excited that we have obviously him for the next. We got him the rest of this year and then 2 more years.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was as a coach, and he a type of kid you just don't know what he gonna play at the next level. Running back, receiver. Yeah. He kind of built and shaped like Amari Rodgers from Catlin and Clemson. So I'm anxious to see what he gonna end up turning out to be.
Yeah, I definitely was too. I didn't know how he was gonna kind of fit in your offense because I kind of look at you as like a passer more than a runner. But Terrion is a back that can help you in a pass game and run game, so it seemed like it's working out well. Yeah,
he was. Last week he didn't run the ball as much against AE, but he had about 90 yards receiving. But he's averaging, about 90 yards receiving. He's probably about 70, 80, 90 in rushing too. I mean, he had he's on pace. He could probably easily get 1,000 yards receiving, 1,000 yards rushing, which is incredible. I think he's already got 18 touchdowns on the year.
That's great.
So like you're saying, but he does allow us, if somebody's going to take away our throw game and give us a lot box with our offensive line and Terrion back there, we feel very comfortable. We could line up and run the football and win games.
Yes, sir. At this point, 7-0 coming in. Have you over exceeded your expectations for your first year, you think?
Well, I think, I know it sounds coach talk, but I try not to be result. We don't want to be result driven. Like obviously, if you look at 7-0, like at some point we can press pause and look at our wins and losses and see how we felt like we did. But I think for us, it's how can you number one, be physical as a team. That's one thing. Like, are we a physical football program? You got to be physical when you play football. And then 2, schematically, are we executing? Are we putting our kids in good spots? And then 3, what's the chemistry like of our team? And so, like, if I was evaluating us on all 3 of those, I'd be like, man, we're on schedule or maybe ahead of schedule in certain areas. So, I think their wins and losses will continue to take care of themselves. But I think being as far as like when you look at the way we've executed specifically offensively, it would be hard to think year one that they would be playing at this high of a level. But I think it shows how motivated our kids were when we got here, just the talent they have, and then our coaching staff of making sure we're developing and putting people in the right spots.
Yes, sir.
Man, I had a question, man. I'm lost that quick. Tell us about, I'm about done. This is my last question. Where do you see the future of Grace program during your tenure? Where do you want it to go? Not the future, but where do you want to see it take the program through your tenure?
Well, I think for us, it's, and I've talked to our team about this, and we want to maximize the potential of this specific team in 2024. And, so we got areas we got to improve on. But then when you step back and you look at your entire program, we want to maximize every level, every area that we can, the weight room, the middle school program, our high school program. So how do we, those are areas, some of the things we've been able to fix quickly, but for us to reach our potential where I feel like Grace can be with the leadership that we have, with Matt Mercer's vision of here and Marcus Dilgar, our athletic director, when you think about, what we want to be able to accomplish here. I think we can do that. There's areas that we can improve in. We got a lot of things put in place here that are going to allow us to be successful. There's no doubt about that. But I think for us is, if we want to be on the cutting edge in different areas to, build a program that's kind of on those old school principles where you're physical, you're tough, but with a new school mindset of, how do we, keep kids motivated? How do you, not entertainment, but we want them to enjoy this game. I mean, it still should be fun for them. So, I think there's a lot of areas. I think after year one, we'll step back and be like, okay, what can we do to improve on to maximize our entire program? Grace is set up in you have your Grace Youth Sports program here for the school. So there's people on this campus all the time, but I think it still has to start from the high school. We got to make sure that we get our program where we want it to be, and even though we're 7-0 right now, there's still areas we have to improve on, and we got to keep our staff together. I think that's so important in sports to keep the same leaders for our kids every day, and so I think the sky's the limit for Grace. Again, what does that mean? State championships and all that? I hope it does, but I think if you kind of take care of the things that you control what you can control, and maximize every area of your school, because every school's built a little different. There are certain schools that you can be really good in at this, whatever that is, and then at this school there's something else you can be really good in. So we just got to continue to find what can Grace be really good at, and just continue to capitalize in those areas.
Yes, sir. Sounds good, Coach.
Last question, Coach, and who came up with the Price is Right shirt?
Oh,
and how can we get a shirt, though?
Hey, I'll tell you what, I showed up to school. They're having a chapel one Thursday morning. I pulled up, and they have a little store down there that they sell stuff. And I walked in, and Jonathan Cox had already texted me about these Price is Right shirts. He had already seen one. So I didn't necessarily know they were going to be made. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, man, the pressure's building on that one. So luckily we won that night. We beat CAK, so it was fun. But, yeah, it's cool, man. It's fun. You just got to embrace it. You obviously, with that being said, though, it's about the kids, man. They're playing so good, but the shirts were good. I thought it was awesome, man.
Right. I like that. I think I seen DJ Pendergrass wearing it. Yeah. I said, I got to get one of them shirts.
You get you one. You got to get y'all some.
I need one too,
y'all look good wearing them, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you
guys.
Appreciate y'all. Yes, sir. Thank
in
you.
the lab, Coach Rock.
Coach O.
Yeah. Y'all know what time it is. You just tuned in the lab with Coach Rock and O. East Tennessee High School Sports Podcast. Bringing you all the exclusive interviews with some of the hottest players coming out of high school and the coaches from around the country here. Make sure you like and share this podcast. And stay tuned in each week. But enough of this. Let's get it.
Welcome in the lab. I'm Coach Rock. I'm here at Grace today with
Weston, Edmondson, 2025 QB.
Braden, 2025, tight end and outside linebacker.
welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks
What's going on? Let's talk about this season, man. Y'all started off that high start. Question for both of y'all. Starting off to a 7-0 start. What the campus like since y'all been hot like that?
It's been lit for sure. I mean, with the past couple seasons, football's kind of been down. Everyone knows that. We won 3 games last year. The year before that, we won 4. So this year, it's really just brought a revive around campus. Everyone's coming to all the games. Everyone's loving it. It's been a great experience. I really enjoyed it.
Yes, sir. And to go off of that, what I would say, the attendance at the games and I guess just the whole school spirit is more tuned into football and the football team, and that plays a big part.
It's another question for both of y'all. With both of y'all being seniors, how is it important for y'all to be vocal leaders with this group? I know y'all playing a lot of young guys and with a new coaching staff.
Yeah, I think for me, being specific, it's being a quarterback. I played here since my freshman year, so no matter what grade you're in, to be honest, if you're the quarterback, they're going to look to you as a leader. So I think I've had some great experience leading, but I think this year's even more important because me being a senior and a quarterback, it's double, the leadership. And I think with us having a young team, like you said, we only lose, on offense, me and him, and one other senior. There's not really many senior leadership on the team besides me and him and a couple others. So really just buying into those guys younger than us. Got some guys like Terrion and Weber, and some guys that are really good playmakers, but they're sophomores. They're going to make mistakes. Just being high school football is such an experienced game, and I think with being a senior, you really just got to buy into those guys because they're going to be here a couple more years. So the stuff that you buy into them, they're going to use for the next few years.
Yes, sir. And I think with leadership, that plays a part in making new leaders. So when me, Weston, the other senior leaders on our team are gone, those sophomores and juniors that are going to be seniors one day can also be leaders and lead the team and keep that trend going.
You know, last week y'all put it on AE pretty good. What was about that game that you thought that prepared y'all to get y'all ready for y'all tougher stretch? I know y'all got y'all bigger 2 games coming up towards the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, AE, they're a young team like us, but with them being young, they have some great athletes. And I think early in the year, we've played some good teams, but they haven't been very athletic. And then next, their games coming up is our hardest stretch, and they have some athletes. But AE really prepared us. They played us in, some man coverages because they have those athletes to guard us out wide. And I think preparing for that man and, the athletes, you can't really just run by. You really got to scheme up. It really prepares us for the next couple of weeks because we're going to play some more athletic players.
Yes, sir, and that's really our first test with man coverage.
Right.
So that was just a different look for us, and that was good for us to get a gist of it and just get a real feeling of it,
Right.
especially with Boyd and Webb coming up. Their corners, they're always pressing on man
Right.
coverage, so that gets us led up to that.
Now, with you being one of the seniors and the leader on defense, I know you do a lot of things over here, Greg.
Yes, sir.
What is it like playing under now? Which one of the Justin is the offensive coach and Matt the defensive coach, right?
Yes, sir.
So what is it like playing with Coach Matt and his defense?
It's awesome. It's incredible. I wish I could have been able to been with them more
Right.
starting in my freshman year and having them. But the experience that I've had, it's been awesome. The leadership that they have passed on to us, for us to spread to our teammates and
Right.
even to just students at school and just the whole, they feed into us and we buy into it and we disperse it among many, many people.
Right. What is it like learning a new offense? I know it had to be difficult learning, because I know it's probably not similar to what you did in the past few years, but how difficult was it to learn a new scheme and how fun is it to play with, especially with the weapons you got?
Yeah, it's been great. With a guy like Coach Bryce, Justin, they're both like this, but he's just so bought into everything he does. He's been doing it for, a very long time. You can tell that with his experience. So, last spring, we were here in, January, February, March, here on the field, really repping their stuff because they have a really complex offense. And you can see because it works really well, but just they're so bought in. This is what they do. This is their life. They're big football guys, and that's been great to be around. Even though, like he said, it is my senior year, I wish I would have been around a little bit longer, but it's just been such a blessing to really been around these guys that just, love the game and love what they do. And it's really, shed off on me, and I'm sure Braden as well, just really buying into the game and, what everything you love about it. It's been really good.
Was it playing with them guys? I know both of them guys for a long time when they was in Campbell County. What's the atmosphere like with them guys? Because they every time I see them, they look like they high energy guys. Tell us a little bit about that.
Like I just said, they just love the sport, and you can really tell that by the way that they celebrate after. And some would say they're hard on us, but that's just in the same thing. But some players need that. They're hard on us. They're going to tell us when we mess up, and they're going to tell us how to get better. But on the other side of that, if we do something good, they're the first guys, dap us up, give us a high five, and tell us, congratulate us, which is, it's really good to be a player under a coach like that because, you can always get better, but they really do reward you when you do good. It's been a blast.
Yeah, just like Weston said, they'll get onto you, they'll harp at you, they'll yell at you, but that's all to make you better. But whenever you get that catch, get that touchdown, do something good, they're high-fiving you, giving you a chest bump, doing something just to celebrate with you.
Yeah. I know you probably don't have the numbers to not have a lot of people play both ways, but tell us what it's like in practice. I know they compete against each other too, especially in the early season of the season when y'all just kind of figuring out what y'all doing. There's a lot of scrimmages and stuff. Tell us how that environment was with them.
Yeah,
I know they compete.
I remember early on with them being twins, it's such a cool little dynamic they have. They really know what each other are thinking.
Right.
All the time. So we'll be out there, doing, especially in the summer when we can do 11 on 11, first team on first team, and just. You have to kind of scheme up a little bit more because Matt's knowing what Justin's about to run here.
Right.
Those, so you got to really, really got to play to your best. It's really been. I think it's really showed this year on how we've been doing so good because you have to when we practice hard because if you don't, you're going to get exposed.
Right.
So because they know what we're doing, and you can't just go through the motions or they're going to get a pick and then Matt's going to rub it in all our faces. So we really got to really buy into what we're doing, especially in the summer. Show do what we do.
I would say a big part of it is their chemistry, like Weston said, being twins and everything. Their chemistry, they think the same. They see the same things, and they always have a way to change it. But what you said about practice and everything, it's always it can be a battle between the two,
Right.
or it can be the two of them not going at each other, but like what's the word? I'm
Working
looking for?
together.
Yeah, like working
Right.
working together to fix something or to change something. It's really cool.
Right. You know, because it's kind of like I pretty much got two head coaches because he kind of running defense and offense, so that's good dynamic. You know, this year you putting up crazy numbers. I think you're leading the area in passing yards. What's the recruiting process been like for you so far?
It's been good. I mean, it's really, picked up, obviously. I mean, I've just with the experience I've had over the years, I've obviously been recruited and stuff around that like D2 FCS level, but really this year being able to put out good film and, a lot of good numbers, obviously, it's really picked up fast. Some Sun Belt teams have reached out, some, FBS Division I teams reached out. It's been a cool process for sure. I've been lucky, I've been blessed. I'm going on a couple of visits, this fall, and my mindset right now is just really focusing on the season right now. Because I mean, with how we are 7-0, there's a lot left to play for.
Yeah.
So I really just trying to finish this year, taking my senior year, and then kind of during basketball season, really, weigh my options and decide where I eventually want to go to play in the next level.
You got a top 5 yet, or you still kind of?
I mean, I do want to say this summer I went on a lot of visits up north because I do have pretty good academics. So there's a lot of schools up north that I reached out. But I did, just after going up there, I went to a lot of the Ivy League schools. I went to schools like Virginia Tech and Boston College and stuff like that. But I think I do want to stay kind of in the southeast. Farthest north I want to go. Marshall's reached out. JMU, schools like that. And then around here, obviously ETSU is a great spot. Chattanooga, Furman in South Carolina. I really like the academic side of it too.
Right.
Furman, they have a really good academics program. So that's one school I've really been looking at for a while. And then Stanford as well. They kind of have that same little, academic as well. But I mean, I'm just kind of looking around, seeing, what my options are when it's all said and done.
You kind of got an idea what you want to do academically when you on the next level?
Yeah, I do. I've always kind of wanted to do something medical.
Okay.
So kind of just either it's pre-med or whatever I want to do. I'm really just undecided at this moment, but something
Still
medical.
got time.
Yeah.
What about you? What recruitment going for you?
It's been going great. With this fall coming up, I'm planning on going a bunch of visits.
Mhm.
I've had some coaches reach out to me recently. I'm working on some highlight tapes that I'm going to be able to send out. And kind of like what Weston said, we still have 3 games of the regular season
Right.
plus regions, playoffs, whatever that's going to look like. So I don't want to get a big head and start looking forward to that. And just keep my head on that next week of like
Right.
Friday who we're going to be playing and stuff.
Like I said earlier in the show, your biggest 2 games of the year is going to be Webb and Boys Buchanan. And y'all being talked about a lot, but I feel like I should get more buzz than what you get. But I think if you can knock off them games and compete in them games, I think you're gonna take it to another level. What are some of the things y'all got to do between now and then? I know y'all got Webb next week and then Boys the last game, right?
Yeah.
What are some of the things you got to do between now and then to kind of keep the momentum rolling and get over that hump and beat them guys?
I mean, they've really put into us all year with the saying, Grace is not going to get beat. Grace is going to beat themselves. And we had a good test early on against school. Chad Christian, Don Chun, they've had some great alumni. Boo Carter,
Right.
people like that put on there. They're a great program, have a lot of athletes. But we went into that game, we were 2-0, and we were just kind of beating ourselves the whole game. We figured out a way to win. Sorry, like most good teams do. But it was one of those games where it really was a wake-up call. I think it really set a fire in us for the next 4 games to go 7-0 like we are. But we just really got to work on us, because we've practiced hard enough. We have good enough schemes to where if we do what we do, we'll be in a good spot to win. So I think with this team like Webb and a team like Boyd, we just gotta don't look at the jersey, look at it just as an opponent. You know what I mean? Do what we do, practice what we've been practicing, sharpen the knife that we already have, and really just buy into what we've already been bought into, and just really go out there and play our game. And I think it'll be good.
I think with the next games coming up, to keep that energy level and maintain how we are right now, I think the scout team has been doing a great job throughout the whole summer, throughout right now, the whole season. They've prepared us. They've given us some good looks, offensively and defensively. And I think we can't let off the gas. We just got to keep going and play our game.
Wes, tell us something about something. I mean, like I said, I looked at them. You got about 4 or 5 receivers with 400 yards or more. Terry out being a leader. Tell us about some of them guys and how special some of them guys are to play with.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we are young, but those guys can play. We have some guys that have really been bought in and really changed the program for the better, because those guys really haven't been here. Some of the lows that Grace has been, they came in fresh and really turned the program around. I've been thankful for those guys. But when you have an offense that you have multiple guys that can score at any moment, it's hard to guard. Hard to guard. When I'm a quarterback, and I know I got a guy like Caden Weber, who's a sophomore, and he has 7 touchdowns on the year. A guy beside me, Terrion, Braden out wide. Guy like Pierce Stillman, who's a senior, he's old, but he runs like a 4.5. And you have a guy like Chris Tolliver, who is a sophomore as well. You just know that at any given moment something can happen. And I've been so blessed to have guys like that. Because in the past, there's been times where I was snapping and I'm looking to one person, which is it's hard to play quarterback when you only have one read.
Right.
So when I have guys around me that I can snap it, really go through my progressions and trust every on the field, it's been such a blessing. And I credit all my stats and stuff to them, because without the O-line in front of me blocking and the guys that making plays for me, I wouldn't be where I'm at. So I've been very blessed.
Talk about some of them young guys that's helping on defense. I think I've seen Terrion and Weber. Some of them guys play defense.
Yes, sir. Weber, Caden Weber, he's our safety. He's really good, especially coming off the ball. We have a safety blitz. He's coming through there, and he's causing chaos. Another one was going to be Jackson Coffey. He had, I think, 120-something tackles last year just as a freshman.
All-state, too.
All-state, yes, sir. And he's doing really good. He's going to be a great player. And then some of our secondary players like Chris Tolliver, obviously Terrion at outside linebacker.
Even JV, too.
Yeah, JV Stinson. And then also on our line, as a sophomore, we have Micah Royster. He's had a really big impact on our team. He's doing great.
I see. I mentioned JV. I mean, he 8th grader kid. He done ran he done ran a kickoff back. I see him making plays all the time, man. Just tell me how special that kid gonna be and how fun is it to play with that guy. Cause I coached him at 707 and he always got something going on, man.
Yeah.
Great kid, man. But tell us about him and his development, playing with y'all guys. With y'all being older guys, kind of taking him under the wing and trying to get him ready. Because obviously he can help y'all somewhere down the line this season.
I mean, he's always been fast. I mean, for sure. Even this spring running track, we knew the speed he brought, but he's really been working hard in the weight room too. If you saw him come in here, he built like a bulldog.
Yeah,
walking in here.
I seen a video of him yesterday working out at home or somewhere it was at, and I was like, he done got bigger.
He just he loves the game. I mean, he's gonna try and get on the field any way he can. Coming as an 8th grader, he's kind of like, all right, you play a little bit of special teams, maybe you'll be a good practice player, but he just time after time find ways to put himself on the field. Put him at kickoff. Runs that kickoff back on Sports Center and everything, and then even at corner, he's just a dog. He's gonna make plays. It's hard to keep playmakers off the field. He's in there. He's gonna come up and hit you. He's also gonna be with you in pass coverage and knock the ball down. He's gonna be special, and I think it's been fun to watch.
And you got a lot of work for him, especially when you got a big brother right there beside you, doing this thing too. Guys, I know y'all. We asked all the guys this. Y'all be playing that new NCAA. So who the best player on the team?
Who best at the game?
Yeah.
Terry won't say it's him, but it's me for sure.
Well, I played Terry out. He beat me pretty bad. Everybody when it first came out, he won't beat me again. If you play with Terry out, you play me again, But
he gets that Penn State, it just runs down your throat. It's cheap, bro. I get mad about it. But everyone, we even this early school year, we brought the Xbox in here, put on the film room, and people were playing all the time, man. I mean, everyone's trying to say they're the best, but we all know it's me.
So y'all had a tournament here tonight?
Oh yeah, I actually went over to his house. Terrion beat me then. I will admit, but we've played a lot. I think we probably played over 100 times. Me and Terrion played together, but Terrion beat me at his house. But it's an ongoing battle for sure.
Okay, what about you? You pretty good at it?
I'm alright. I don't think I'm as good as Terrion, but I don't play as much. I play like the mini game practices, like through the gauntlet. I don't play too much.
Yeah, Terrion's on that game all the time.
Yeah. If you let's start with you, Braden. If you could compare yourself to any player, college or NFL, who would you compare yourself to? The way you play. Tough question, man.
That's a tough question. I gotta think about that. You gotta go to Weston. I gotta think about that.
I'm gonna go you. Well, I mean, you got quarterback, so I mean,
I will say my favorite player of all time, which I don't know if we're similar, but my favorite player of all time is Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Just I've grown up a Packers fan. Just the way he throws the ball just always amazes me. But I think if I had to pick one player to really compare myself to, it'd probably be Justin Herbert.
Okay.
He quarterback at the Chargers. He's just even in college. He's a pro pro style quarterback for sure. The way he throws, but I think he also is sneaky with his running ability too. And I think this year that's been one thing I really try to work on.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to be a little bit more mobile. Because I mean, my whole last year, they didn't really want me to run. The year before that, really didn't want me to run either. But this year, having some design runs, even being able to scramble and move around and extend plays, I think a guy like Justin Herbert is really similar to me.
Okay.
I guess I would say kind of like a Travis Kelce kind of person because he can be down at the line at tight end,
Right.
and he can be blocking, he can be going out for short passes, long passes, and then he can also be widened out as a wide receiver, maybe as an X, get a mismatch on the outside or backside of the play and be running post, corners, whatever.
I can see that. I got a couple more questions I get you out of here. Start with you, Braden. You can tell any college coaches watching what kind of player if they were recruiting you, what kind of player they'd be getting if you came to their school.
Yes, sir. I would tell them that I'm like really hardworking. I tell them I'm a hard worker. I'll tell them I don't like being last because, say, like in our schedule last year in our region we were last, and then also I'd tell them I don't like being last in the case of, hey, I'm a freshman, I'm behind this person, I'm going to build my way up, I'll do everything in my power to do that, as well as academically. I'm going to try really hard, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do everything in my power to get that extra help, to rather hire that or just maintain it.
Don't you?
Yeah, I think one thing I've been blessed with, playing at Grace for how long I have, I think I come with a lot of experience. I think, especially this year, it's helped me a lot because before the season I played half my freshman year, all my sophomore year, all my junior year. I'm really, an experienced player, and I think personally coming from my, own, playing here, I think experience is, such a big deal. So I think what I bring to, a college coach is a lot of experience playing. I think, and based on that experience, I think I'm not even close to my potential as well, or where I could be with, with my size and my, strength or whatever. I think I'm a player with a lot of high school experience that can still, very, excel at that next level. And I think on top of that, I'm, with my academics, like he said, I've been blessed that, have some good academics that I can bring to a, a program, and I'm with the leadership as well. Being in a program like we have, I've dealt with a lot of, dealt with a lot of losses, dealt with a lot of bad games, and off that, so I know how to react and know how to get better. Because a lot of people say you learn more from a loss, than a win.
Right.
So, losing a lot, and then also this season being able to win, I really bring that experience, like how to make myself better and how to make the team better, even if if the morale's down from losing, or if the morale's super high like it is right now, how to just get better every day, depending on the emotions.
Last question for both of you guys. It's Friday, school over with. Tell me what your preparation to get ready for the game. Big game. Say we got Webb coming up, biggest game of the year. School over with. How you get your mind right?
You gotta start off by eating something. You gotta eat something and get full. Then you gotta throw your AirPods on and go listen to some music. Maybe watch a little like Instagram reels or something. And then whenever you get your jersey on and everything, that's when you need to lock in, listen to some like pregame music, maybe check into film a little bit more before the game and start preparing your mind.
So what's your pregame hype song? What's your
Pregame hype
go-to?
song?
What's your go-to? Like, about to go on the field, you got one more song to get it in. What you going to?
I'm not sure. It's probably something by Moneybag Yo.
Okay,
But
I rock with Moneybag.
I'm a big superstition guy,
Okay.
for sure. So I like to do the same thing every time where I get, kind of freaked out. So I'll sit in that back seat right there. You can't see right now, but I sit in the same seat every time. I sit down there, and then about 10 minutes before we go eat, I go down the field and kind of, stretch a little bit and kind of prep my balls. And I'll go back up in there and eat. I sit in the same seat when we eat. Come back down here. I'll go in my locker room, whatever, chill. But I'm a big superstition guy. I don't know if that stuff works, but for me, it kind of gets my head right. And then I don't even listen to music, if I'm being honest. I just kind of, I don't know what I do. I just kind of sit there and just kind of, I think the more loose I am, and, the better. So I just kind of like, talk to some people, just kind of stretch around, kind of not make it more than it is, because in the past I've, tried to get really hyped up, and I end up going out there a little bit nervous. I just try to keep it loose, stretch before the game, put on my stuff, kind of get down there and throw a little bit. But, early on it's super superstitious early on, but after that, kind of loosen up and just, do what I do.
All right. Well, guys, I appreciate that coming on the show, man. Good
Sure,
luck next
appreciate
Friday.
it.
Enjoy your week off, man. We in the lab, Coach Rock. Yeah.
Y'all know what time it is. You just tuned in the lab with Coach Rock and East Tennessee High School Sports Podcast. Bringing you all the exclusive interviews with some of the hottest players coming out of high school and the coaches from around the country here. Make sure you like and share this podcast.